Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And we sit in today. We have an excellent show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So this topic is becoming more and more interesting with every passing day. As you guys know, there's a big back and forth going on between RG3, former NFL quarterback, and former ESPN employee, and current ESPN employee, former NFL player, Ryan Clark, right? And it's centered on this Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, back and forth or whatever, which is at the heart of it, is highly, it has a lot of racial tension to it. It just is what it is, right? So everybody's weighing in on it after that hard foul, whatever, that Caitlin Clark delivered. And then RG3 took to Twitter to essentially say, hey, you know, she hates her. This is beyond basketball. She really hates her. Des Bryant chimed in. Ryan Clark chimed in. He gave us back and forth and all of that. And then certain words started flying around the air like cornball, right? Now, some of you may not know where all of this stems from, but the person that originally called RG3 a cornball was Rob Parker. And he did so ago about maybe 10 to 13 years ago, on a segment he had on ESPN First Take, where they were discussing RG3, and I forgot what he had done at the time, but I remember these comments, and he essentially was questioning whether or not this dude is like a legitimately black guy. And he was like, is this a cornball brother or is he a real brother? And these comments caused Rob Parker to essentially lose his job at ESPN. So yesterday I tuned into a segment on Fox Sports Radio, and they were discussing this very beef with that's going on between Ryan Clark and RG3. So in the midst of Rob Parker talking about it, to my surprise, he reveals that during the pre-production meeting on that day, he had actually said the word cornball during the pre-production meeting, and no one like Skip Bayless or any of the producers threw up their hands in the air like, hey, Rob, you can't say this. So he was essentially blindsided when he went and said it on air, and then eventually it cost him his job. And I'm like, wait a minute, I did not know this. But before we even get into that, we want to play the original comments of what Rob Parker had to say about RG3 over a decade ago. Take a listen to Rob here.
This is an interesting topic, but for me, personally, just me, this throws up a red flag when I keep hearing, and I don't know who's asking the questions, but we've heard a couple of times now of a black guy kind of distancing himself away from black people. Okay. I understand the whole story of, I just want to be the best. Nobody's out on the field saying to themselves, I want to be the best black quarterback. You're just playing football, right? You just want to be the best. You want to throw the most touchdowns and have the most yards and win the most games. Nobody is doing that. But time and time we keep hearing this, so it just makes me wonder deeper about him. And I talked to some people down in Washington, D.C., and my question, honest friends of mine, right, who are around in some of the press conferences, people I've known for a long time. But my question, which is just a straight, honest question, is he a brother or is he a cornball brother?
What does that mean?
Yeah, explain that. Well, he's not really. Okay, he's black, he kind of does the thing, but he's not really down with the cause. He's not one of us. He's kind of black, he's in the, but he's not really like the guy you really want to hang out with because he's off to something else.
Why is that your question?
Well, because that's just how I want to find out about him. I don't know because I keep hearing these things. We all know he has a white fiance, and there was all this talk about he's Republican, which there's no information at all. I'm just trying to dig deeper into why he has an issue, because we did find out with Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was like, I got black skin, but don't call me black. So people got a little wondered about Tiger Woods early on about him.
What do RG3's braids say to you?
Now that's different, because to me, that's very urban and makes you feel like, I think he would have a clean cut if he was more straight lace or not. Like wearing braids is, you're a brother. You're a brother if you got braids on.
So you heard what Rob Parker had to say. So we want to fast forward now to what he said currently about this situation between RG3 and Ryan Clark, and his comments about how ESPN and Skip Bayless essentially just left him out there to just double cross him and left him out there after no one said anything during their pre-production meeting. But before we even get into that, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports with over 10 million members. Prize Picks makes it easy to get real money action on the sports and players you love. You pick more or less on at least 2 for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. For example, this week on Prize Picks, I'm looking at the upcoming NBA schedule and selecting Stephen Curry for more than 29 points and Kevin Durant for more than 27 points and Anthony Davis for more than 12 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 8 assists. If you're like me and you like to play it safe, you'll love Prize Picks' new feature, Flex Plays. It's the safest way to play. You can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. Plus, you can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. On top of this, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money as quick as in 15 minutes. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is going to play what Rob Parker had to say on Fox Sports Radio yesterday. I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Rob here.
I just think, this is not even Angel and Caitlyn anymore. This is they have some other underlying thing.
There we go.
And the whole thing is, people can have differing opinions. It's okay.
Are you sure you're allowed to have that in 2025? Do they know that?
I still think, to me, you can have a differing opinion. Everybody doesn't have to be in lockstep and all be on the same page. We wouldn't have a radio show. If me and you were here today, seriously, and everything I said you agreed with, we'd probably be off the air by now.
Right.
Okay? Because you want to hear different sides of the story. If we agree, we don't fake it. If we agree, we agreed on something earlier. We agreed on
OKC.
OKC, we agree on it, okay? We're not going to fake it just to make a radio show and make you believe that we both have different opinions on everything. But this is definitely crossed the line of being personal, and I think that's where the issue comes in. For RG3, who I, of course, have a history with, and I still can't believe 13. If you would have told me 13 years ago that when I left my suit and my bag in the conference room for First Take in 2012, we had already done the show, like prepared the 10 topics.
Yep.
I went back in to get my bag and my suit to go over to do research in the other building, and Skip and the producer were like, "Hey, we really want to do this topic with RG3, and can you do this?" What would be my reason to say no?
Right.
I didn't come up with it. I wasn't rogue on the broadcast, and nobody knew they had the lower third set up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it wasn't a rogue thing at all. And that's the thing that made me feel comfortable enough to even go out and do that. I've been in a million. You know this. You do production meetings. Rob G, a million production meetings I've been in where I might say some funny joke in a production meeting, and they go, "Rob, don't say that on the air. Don't say that on the air." You know what I mean?
Yep.
When I said what I said, there was none of that. There was nobody put their hands up. "Oh, my God, please don't say that." Oh, God. Nothing. Because I didn't think, if you would have told me back then, 13 years ago, that term would still be used and still be relevant and people attach. You tell me, I'm trending like every so often. Friends are just sending me stuff going, "Dude, your name is everywhere in every comment on Twitter." It's mind-boggling to me. So I look at it. I think you try to avoid being personal. You do. But this is a personal feud. This is not a sports debate.
So you heard what Rob Parker had to say there. What are my thoughts about this? Look, do I think that it was a fireable offense back then? No. I think that what Rob Parker was trying to do, and I think he probably mentioned it in the audio there, was he was essentially trying to draw parallels between him and an O.J. Simpson, right? OJ Simpson, a lot of the black community turned on him because he was just like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Right? I'm not black, I'm OJ. A lot of people got offended with OJ Simpson when he did that. I remember them talking about OJ Simpson when we were hearing whether or not he was going to be released from jail, a prison on Undisputed a number of years ago when Rob Parker was on there with Shannon Sharp. And Shannon Sharp echoed the exact same sentiments that Rob Parker did, where OJ said he don't want nothing to do with the black community, so the black community don't want nothing to do with him. He also brought up the comments of Tiger Woods. So I think by him bringing that up, he probably used that term to characterize this idea that he had of him, which was similar to the idea that he and many people had of OJ Simpson and a Tiger Woods. I think that that's all that happened there. So Rob now saying that he said this beforehand in the pre-production meeting. Nobody said anything. So for him to essentially get blindsided when he got fired, I'm sure he was pretty surprised. He's like, because you guys didn't say anything when we're talking about this before the show started. Now, in terms of this term now, coming back into the zeitgeist of this thing that's going on with RG3 and Ryan Clark, look, it's something that's always been said, right? And there are people out there that feel that way about RG3, and there are people that feel otherwise. I just thought it was quite startling for Rob Parker to reveal that he was essentially double-crossed, because it wasn't like as if when they heard it on air, that was the first time they were hearing it. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about what Rob had to say? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.